Welcome back. Build Your Lane here with myself, Benny and Pure. Just here to talk to you about a new lesson, something that I want to go over. One thing that I want to talk about specifically to kick it off here, to kick this series off, is really just to mention what I like to call the sculptor or rabbit catcher. Sculptor and rabbit catcher mentalities. Because I truly feel like when it comes to finding out what you want to do and really wanting to figure out how to, I guess, find your passion, find your niche in a sense, it can be hard choosing one thing. If you're like myself, where you're all over the place, you want to do 100 things at once, right? You like this, you like that. For me, it was like, oh, I like doing music, but I like business stuff, but I like trying to learn like whatever was the fad at the time. I went through 100 different things, um, and then getting stuck in my head where it was always like the two quotes, right? Where it's like the jack of all trades, master of none, and then the other quote of the man who chases the man who chases two rabbits catches none. Now, my favorite thing about the jack of all trades quote is that everybody said it like an insult, but that's actually not the whole quote. It's the jack of all trades, master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. And it was years after I saw that original quote when I was like, oh, I get it now. Where you don't have to lock in on one thing if you don't want to. Yes, is it good to do that? Sure. If you have that one thing that you really do want to lock in on, then, put your head down and go after it. But if you're like myself, where you want to do a lot of things, it can be hard because you realize that obviously when you spread yourself out like that, the journey feels a little bit slower. And I guess it's realizing from there, just because it's slower doesn't mean it's not coming at all. So you have to realize like, hey, if you don't lock in on the one thing, you're still going to get there if you still put in the work, but you need to understand like it might just take a little bit longer because now your focus is divided. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, as Tony Robbins says. So that was the big thing, and that's where that saying that I came up with came from, because the sculptor for me was like somebody in music or in the arts in general, where you'll start 100 projects, and then you'll start 100 songs or a bunch of different paintings or sketches, and then like you stop one halfway through, you start a new one, you forget about the old one after a while after starting so many more, and then you end up going right back. And then you're like, oh, well, now I have a better idea for this one. So you kind of just divide up your energy for a minute on a bunch of different things, and then the one at the time that just ends up calling you, that's when you end up going back to. Or in this case, the other option with the rabbit catcher is like, look, I'm hunting something. I got to focus on this one thing and then go back. I don't actually hunt rabbits. I don't know if that's how they do it. That's just how I phrased it. Where it's really, when you focus on that one thing, the chances of you actually getting to it are way faster than trying to catch multiple or doing what the sculptor is doing and dividing up your attention. You're really focused. When I think focused, I'm talking like Isle of Man levels of your head's down, you're doing 200 miles an hour, and you're not going to mess up. You're focused. So it is one of those things where you really pay a lot of attention to that one goal. You hit it, then you move on to the next one. Very, very boxy, I guess, the way you could describe it, where the other one is a lot more throw it against the wall and hope it sticks. Which nothing wrong with either of those. We all think differently, and I think you shouldn't demonize yourself or get mad at yourself when you do think not very sophisticated like other people. And I think that will help you. Ultimately, it's going to help you make decisions better, because you're like, oh, you give yourself grace if you jump around a lot, but you also learn to focus. It's like, okay, well, if I'm doing this one, I'm focusing on it, and then this one, because even in the sculptor metaphor there, you kind of divide up your attention, but then the one that clicks for that moment, you're in it, you're 100% in the zone, and you lock that in on it, you finish it, and then you go into something else. And that might spiral to other projects that you started or come up with, and you're finally moving towards it. So really this lesson is like, understand the way that you think. Are you somebody who locks in on the one project? Are you somebody that jumps around? Either way, It's totally okay. You just have to use it to your benefit, right? Who are you? What do you like to do? What do you want to do? Do all the things at the same time, but just know, hey, it's going to get done faster if you focus, but you're still going to get it done even if you divide it up. And just, and the biggest thing about those as well, to touch on it here, is there's still a strategy there. There's still a system that's implemented where you have the things that you're starting, and to, like, for me, it definitely being more on the sculptor route, it's kind of seems messy at first, but then once you get the ball rolling, you're really starting to make the decision final, and you're like, okay, my attention is on this. I am focusing on this, and I know I have to finish this first and really get this energy out, and then I'll be able to jump to the next one. So you really learn to set up a system, and then obviously it's the same thing, which essentially they're the exact same process, but it's the same thing with going the rabbit catcher route, where you're here, and you're locking on one thing, and let me finish this first, and then I'll get to the next one. Let me finish this one first, and then we get to the next one. So you're essentially structuring yourself, and that is the way I've learned to not kind of shame myself or get on myself anymore when I was so just like, oh, I can't finish anything, or I'm all over the place. You flip it into the system, where you then start doing better, and then the more positive you look at it, the better the outcomes become, and the more focused you end up being on these new projects. Obviously, there's some fine tuning that has to happen there if you are a lot more messy like I am, but ultimately it's still going to get you where you need to go. So on this lesson, all I ask you, are you a sculptor or are you a rabbit catcher? So really think, where is my head at? What do I do? What am I good at? What do I enjoy to do? And then just chip away at the things, or lock in and hunt the rabbit. So lock in and hunt the rabbit. So appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Hope this lesson helped. Keep an eye out for more. I'm dropping a video a day. So appreciate you, and build your lane.